Good afternoon. This is Jim Whitehead. Today I'm Phoenix Animal, All Power Group, and the title of this little presentation is Bold Moves by a Raven, also known as the Raven's Gamble. Anyway, okay. High above the misty cliffs of the Pacific Northwest lived a raven named Karoo. To the casual hiker, he looked like any other black-feathered raven or trickster with glossy wings, sharp eyes, and a voice that echoed like laughter through the pines. But Karoo was different. He was a planner. And I know you're saying, wow, that's pretty cool. Anyway, here he is. He's up on his perch and now I'm going to tell you what he's been doing. For weeks, he has been studying a pair of hikers who often came to feed the chipmunks. I guess he would say, well, you will feed the chipmunks, but you won't feed the raven. Well, he said, I'm going to do something about that. Every afternoon, they would unwrap a sandwich and leave crumbs behind. Not good campers, right? But lately, they had grown wiser and they were tucking the food inside a zipped backpack. And it's like with anything, when you're in the woods, I mean, there's ants and bears and you name it. They certainly would say, I think you need to kind of not only hide your food, but have it where you keep it where no one can smell the food. But the raven was smarter than that anyway. But so what he began, what we call an experiment. First, he dropped shiny pebbles near their campsite. In other words, he's testing, do I have an opportunity to get some food? And he's not a dummy. And it would probably be where he gets plenty of food with him being and what he can do. But having something special, like a sandwich, is a great idea. So when the hikers bent down to look, he swooped in and tugged the zipper open. He missed. The next day, there you see, they think they're smart enough to put everything inside that knapsack. But the next day, he tried again, and he got down, went all the way to the knapsack, and said, hey, I unzipped it. And then he had opened it. He came down, grabbed the sandwich, and then he got the sandwich, and now he's smart. he's tucking it away. He ate some of it, but he's like, hey, I want to be smart. Since I don't need to eat this all right now, I am going to be able to put it away so that I have it for another day. So anyway, as stated, he got the bread sandwich and he took it away, and he now has what we would call a success. So as I'm showing you, he's hiding it. And what he's doing is he's saving it for what we would call, or he would call, a next storm. Because a lot of the animals, if there's a real bad storm, they might have a little trouble getting food. But not Karoo. He said, look, I am going to hide this and keep it for what we would call a rainy day. Weeks later, when snow covered the forest, the chipmunks were gone and food was scarce, but Karoo, he still ate well. He flew from his perch down to where he had hidden the sandwich and was able to take whatever he needed at this point in time and having it where he was smart. And it was a great hiding place. And he, the forest was cold and silent except for one sound, the soft, satisfied caw of a raven who had outsmart winter itself. So, a short story, but certainly an opportunity to have it where we have these a wonderful opportunity here. Now, since today is Halloween, and it's like with anything, it's kind of neat when you can, how would you say, do a presentation that links it to a certain day that will always be remembered. So anyway, my very sincere happy Halloween from All Power Group. And I want to thank you for being here for this little relatively short story. But the biggest thing I find, which is cool, animals are smart. In a lot of cases, they're really smarter than we are. And that's because we say, well, do we have to go find food when we're hungry? No, we just go to the supermarket. Well, this raven wouldn't be able to go to the supermarket. So what he did instead was steal food from the camper people and saved it. And that's another very interesting thing with animals. You might think, oh, they just, and some would just gobble it down. If they're able to get some food that's fallen to the ground, or they find a stash of food. But no, Karoo just said, I'm going to only eat what I need, and it's going to keep me going for as long as I need to. So anyway, short story, but I thought it was kind of cool showing how animals are smart. And the campers got outsmarted, I guess you might say. But the neatest thing in general is no one got hurt. So that's what we try to strive for every day, that things work out and that we are basically safe. So with that, I want to thank you, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you next time. Thank you very much again.